Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like before you go any further. And today we are talking about Funny Story by Emily Henry. Did I like it? Did I love it? Did I hate it? Let's get into the video and find out. Hello everyone, just a little update on Funny Story. I wanted to get some of my thoughts out while it's still fresh in my brain, but I am actually loving it so much so far. It's so cute, as I love to say, and everything about it has just been so great so far. So literally by chapter 3 she had me hooked, so I'm loving that. I love it because it feels like a movie. Like I can truly envision the scenes that are happening, and it's just great. So there's one scene where she's talking about like her one relationship and how their meet cute was like her hat got like swept out of her hair from like the wind or something, and the way that she described that scene, just I could just picture it happening so exactly, and I just love that. And then she had this other scene where she's like literally throwing almonds at some people in her driveway, and I just felt like a movie. So, and I love books like that. Like they really keep my attention and they're just fun to read. So I'm loving it so far. Apparently the trope, at least from what I can tell, is going to be kind of like fake relationship trope, which is not honestly my favorite trope at this point. Like I'm kind of over it, but I know that it's probably going to be a good book and that I'm probably going to love their banter and stuff. So I will update you guys on how I'm liking it more as I get through it. But right now, so far, so all right, so we are back with an update. I am 180 pages into Funny Story. Overall, really liking it. I have a few thoughts though, so I'll share those and then I'm gonna get back into reading. Okay, so the first thing I'm really enjoying about this book is just how I feel like I can feel their love actually developing. I feel like with this fake dating trope, like so often, and it's done all the time, I feel like it's just like they go the whole book kind of ignoring each other's love, like for each other, like trying to suppress it, push it down, and then third act they decide to confess it to each other, and then that's just how it goes. And then I feel like the trope itself is always like so far at the like forefront of the story. What I like about Emily Henry's approach to the trope is that it just feels like the trope itself is kind of like at the back burner of the story. Like it's not like the main thing that we're thinking about. Like what we're really worried about is like watching these two main characters fall in love and like showing their conversations and dialogue and background and all this stuff to really like help us to understand them and everything. And I love that so much, as opposed to just like focusing on the trope and doing silly things within that for like funny scenes. Like that is kind of like on the back burner, I feel like, of the story. So I really like that. So I just feel like it's such an overdone trope. I was a little bit apprehensive coming into this because I thought like it would just end up being like everything else, but I'm really liking the way she's approaching it. So I love that. The next thing that I wanted to tell you guys is I'm kind of feeling like not really connected to this female main character. Like she's honestly really funny and I'm liking that about her, but I feel like she's like a tad rude, or like maybe she just doesn't know how to express things in a nice way. But I feel like she's like made some comments about our main male character's like appearance, like with his beard and stuff, and then like the way she rejected like he got her coffee once, she doesn't like coffee, and the way she rejected it, I just thought it was like kind of a little bit weird. So I don't know, I'm just like not vibing with her totally, but I'm loving the male main character so far. And he does this really cute thing where he like pokes her chin, which brings me to my third point of I just love the like subtle uses of like things like that, like poking, you know, the girl's chin as like a subtle form of like love and affection. I just think it's really cute because I feel like in a lot of contemporary romance books and movies, they just kind of go over the top with the gestures, with everything. Don't get me wrong, I love a grand gesture, but like these subtle ways of showing affection just honestly are even cuter to me, just because they feel so like real and relatable and just like warm and cozy. So I just love the vibes that they're giving on that front. And yeah, I'm gonna go get back to some more reading. right, so we are back talking about Funny Story, and I am almost done with it. We're kind of starting to wrap things up here, so I'm going to give my thoughts so far, and hopefully this ending kind of changes how I'm thinking about stuff. So let's get into it. So one thing that I'm really liking about this book, before I get into some of the stuff that I'm not so much loving, I'm loving how she is learning to become a friend. And not just with Miles, but with Ashley too, one of her coworkers. So I'm loving kind of that theme of friendship throughout this whole thing. Like, she talks to Miles, the main male character, about, you know, how he's her best friend. And then she's also kind of learning how to have other friends because she's been kind of like wrapped up in, for however long her previous relationship was, she was kind of wrapped up in like his family, his friends, everything was like his. So now that she's like on her own, she's kind of learning how to be a friend and make friends all on her own. So I'm really liking that, just kind of how they're playing that out. And it just gives like the story, I feel like, some more depth than just talking about the romance. So there's other like self-development and self-growth that's happening, and I'm loving seeing that. The next thing about this book that is driving me nuts is their communication. So the communication between Daphne and Miles honestly drives me nuts. I feel like they put words in each other's mouths all of the time. For example, they were having some sort of like, I feel like all of their arguments come out of nowhere, for one. And then she'll say something about her dad, and then he's like, oh, so I'm just like your dad? And it's like, she didn't say that, like, at all. And then she goes right back and does kind of the same thing, where he said something about like how she like makes other people feel, and she took it totally wrong, and she was like, oh, so I make people feel like their worst selves. And that was the exact line. And I'm like, okay guys, come on, like, why are we putting words into each other's mouths and just kind of like picking fights for no reason? Like, you say you want to be honest and talk with them, and then you're just kind of like yelling at each other. I don't know, I'm not loving that. It seems like they're both honestly decent people, and I think they want to be good people, but I just don't know if like either of them are necessarily ready for like a relationship. And they're both kind of honest about that too, which I appreciate, but they're still like, it's a romance, so it's like, I know they're gonna end up together, so I'm hoping that like it gets tied together in a way that doesn't piss me off. But you know, we'll see how that goes. Which kind of leads me into my third point. I kind of just want Daphne to be single. So by page 328, I just have this like overwhelming feeling that I would just be happier if she found like contentment and like self-worth in herself. There's all this talk about her being a we person, like always needing to be in a relationship and always needing to be a part of a we, no matter if that's like her friends or her relationship with her mom. And so I feel like it would just be, to end this book, to have her like being kind of on her own for at least a bit until she like finds that self-worth, because I feel like she thinks super negatively of herself. I feel like that would just be like the perfect way to tie this together in a way that seems positive and actually shows her growth. Because I feel like a lot of these romances, like, they show the growth in like the relationship and then ending happily, like working out whatever problems. But in her case, I feel like the growth would be in realizing that she doesn't need, you know, other people to necessarily complete her. And don't get me wrong, I love marriage. I love it when people get together. I love romance books. But in this particular story, like, I feel like that would be a good course of action, just for this storyline. But this one, I just feel like they might be better off on their own, at least for like, you know, a year or two, where they can both kind of work on themselves, you know? And quick little note, this is kind of a spoiler, so if you need to hop forward a couple seconds, feel free. But towards the end, I'm here, and they just gotten together, if you know what I mean, for the first time. And then all of a sudden, literally the next day, he ghosts her. He's supposed to pick her up from work, and he doesn't show up. He's a no-show. And then she finds out that he's, you know, helping his ex-girlfriend with something those days and isn't reaching out and stuff. And he ends up giving her a little gift to like ease that pain a little bit. But I mean, still not talking to her in person or anything. And I don't know, like, that all felt kind of like a red flag to me. Like, I'm just thinking of any like normal relationship, like if you were, especially if you're sleeping together, I mean, like, if you have plans to pick her up from work and then you're just a no-show, like, that is such a red flag to me. So to me, Like, I know he kind of defends himself because he panics a lot, like when things are getting serious, I guess. But like if he's gonna show those kind of panics, like right after the first time they come together, it's like, I don't know, like it just feels like neither of them are ready for like anything serious. So, which is fine. Like, you know, they both got out of like pretty serious relationships, and honestly, there's probably something to be said for taking some time to work on yourself. So, anyway, I know he apologized for that, but it still kind of rubbed me wrong and kind of just like gives me another thing to make me feel like maybe they shouldn't be together. So anyway, so I'm gonna go finish this book out, and then I will let you guys know how I like the ending. All right, we are done with Funny Story. It's about an hour later. I already got my dust jacket back on, and because I literally hate reading with those things. And yeah, so I'll give you my final thoughts before we move on, but it was a pretty good ending. Like, I'm gonna give it a, drum roll please, 3 stars. I'm going with 3 stars. I mean, I loved that it had like a lot of emotional depth. I love that it felt like a real couple, like experiencing like real problems. But I gotta stand by what I said earlier. Like, I feel like the course of action that would have been like healthiest would probably to be just take some time to be single for a while they figure their lives out. So, I mean, even in their last scene before they're coming together, they're still like, you know, thinking the other one is maybe getting back together with, you know, their ex and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like they needed more time to process like through their own personal stuff. But I mean, overall, I did like, you know, I love the main male character. I said earlier that, you know, the female main character, Daphne, wasn't my favorite. She seemed like a little bit kind of rude and kind of, I don't know, just wasn't vibing with her. I still overall agree with that. Like, I feel like I loved at the end how she seemed to like be confident in who she was and her like new life that she started with Miles. But I don't know, still wasn't like totally a big fan of her. Didn't love their communication. I did love how like she worked on her friendships and like her like other inner daddy issues and other things that she had. So I love that too. But overall, it was a good read. Definitely would recommend it. Out of the Emily Henry books that I've read, which would include Beach Read, Funny Story, and Book Lovers, I'd say it ranks. Oh, and Happy Place too. I would say that it ranks like honestly number 4 out of those. So I know it's kind of sad. But hopefully I got 2 more by her that I want to read. People We Meet on Vacation, her first book, and or at least like her first one that I know of. And then her most recent release, which is A Great Big Beautiful Life, I believe it's called. So we'll be reading those soon. I can probably do them in the same video if you guys want to hear about that. And then, yeah, let me know if there's anything else that you guys want me to read, that you want me to review or do a video on. I want to do some challenges soon. So if you have any ideas for like any book challenges or reading challenges that I can do, I would be super excited to do those. But for today, that's gonna be about it. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like as well. And if you found something interesting about the book, or if you have like anything you want to share about Funny Story, leave a comment below. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.